Hello. I feel so deeply today that I have got to a certain part of my journey, in this awakening journey, and I feel so at a crossroads for the first time. Like I've had to make decisions and move forward, but it's got to a point where I feel like my angels and the universe are saying, so what are you going to do? Are you going to continue moving forward into the unknown and following the pull and that deep knowing that you have, but not knowing that what, if, how it's all going to happen, but just trusting that's your way forward, and that's you. Yeah, is that the way you want to go, or are you going to go back to the known and to what gives you comfort, and it's in some way to old energies, that old relationship and old situations? And I could easily go back. I think the hardest thing is ending a relationship with someone that you're still in love with, but just knowing so deep down that they're not good for you, that the relationship's run its course. It's been the lessons that you were meant to have learned, and am I going to go back to that because it feels familiar and safe, because I know that I'm in this void, like kind of waiting room period where it feels quiet. It feels, some people can say it's stagnant. It's just there. It's just existing in the quiet, in the peace. But and I've struggled with that over the last few weeks, and I thought, is it because I'm lonely and this and that? But it's not. It's because it's just so quiet. I've spent my whole life in survival and just chaos and just one thing after the other, and it's, for the first time in my life, it's quiet. And yes, there's still life is still going on, and there's stuff going on externally that is challenging, but that's the whole point of the human experience, and that's what we came here to experience. But ultimately, I know, do I go back and then have to go through all the same lessons for the same outcome? I know, whether I decide to move on now, or if I go back, I'm going to go through the same kind of lessons, but probably different, but the same kind of things that I've learned and know already, and then be back to this stage again. Am I going to do that? Am I going to? And I think the hardest thing is it just feels so comfortable. It's familiar. Someone knows you so deeply, but then on the other side of that, they know you so deeply, but they still acted in the way they did, and they still were that lesson for you. Are you willing to go through that all again for the same outcome? And that's just the bigger picture of it. However much I can feel so pulled, and it just feels so comfortable, and I see the boys so happy, and it all feels lovely. When you end a relationship with someone, it's so easy to remember all the good and think of all the positive, but I feel so deeply that if it had been that amazing, why was I so divinely led, and just deep knowing that I had to end this? This is not good for me. I know it's not. And it's when you've been separated from someone for a while, you can remember all the good, and you can fantasize your relationship compared to the reality of it, which wasn't what you'd thought and hoped it would be. and what it actually was. And it's really I just know I'm at that point, and I just got to, I can't keep going backwards and forwards with how I'm feeling. I know I feel like I've got my one toe in my old life and a toe in my new, and my foot in one life and foot in the other, and I know the one that's pulling me and that feels strongest, but I still feel so, I think I've got to get over the guilt from it. And they know how to manipulate, they know how to pull at me, and that's where I have got to be strong. And although I feel guilt for my children, that those games and that back and forth isn't fair to them either. They need stability, they need to know once and for all, and I have to